Hello, my friends, my village. I am Evelyn Wallace. This is Maestro, and we are here to engage in some big talk. So, welcome to Big Talk with Evie Wallace. I like branding things. I like putting my name. I like putting my chosen name on the things that I create. Evelyn Wallace is a chosen name, and that's okay with me. It's nice to choose who you want to be based on what you think, based on what you say, and based on what you do. And it's really nice to choose who you want to be based on what you want to be called. In any case, I would like to share a story with you today about village. We villaged so hard yesterday. We have one more week in Los Angeles before we head back to Oregon for like a much needed sort of replenishment. Both places balance and nourish us in different ways. So we know that this time, well, all time is precious, but we especially know that this last week in LA is, well, it's our last chance to be in the world, be in the world here, doing what we do, which is leading by example, choosing joy and gratitude and kindness and compassion, and spreading that because it's contagious in a good way. So we knew yesterday that we wanted to have an adventure. We wanted to get up high. It's Memorial Day weekend. We didn't skip town because this is our vacation village, or vacation, whatever, getaway. Los Angeles is its own adventure to us. So I looked at a map of the city and decided to go to Angels Point, which is like a little city park, sort of within the Dodger Stadium territory, like big open space. So we get to Angels Point, parking's not a problem, don't tell anyone. And we walk through this sort of dirt path, like this park path, to a big structure. It's like a shade structure, but it's clearly art. It's like this beautiful sculpture. It's been graffitied, and there are like concrete chairs, like sort of thrones, like 4 of them, sort of, or maybe 5, I don't know how many, but placed under the structure that is providing shade and art. And as I approach this scene, there are 3 people there who sort of look like ruffians. But we've walked through homeless camps before. Like when it's shared space, we share. So we walk sort of through the shade structure, the art structure, and do like the chin nod thing to these crowd of ruffians, or what, you know, they look like ruffians, and one of that is two guys and a girl, 2 men and a woman, and one of the guys sort of gives me the chin nod and goes, "Cool skull," and I think, thanks, right on, like this guy's bringing people together. And he sort of apologizes for like being, I don't know, being in this space in that way, like, oh, is this cool? We're just doing our thing over here. I said, yeah, of course it's cool. It's shared space as long as you're not hurting anybody. Like, you do you. I said, but do you guys want help like cleaning up your area? Because I forgot to tell you this part. As I approached the shade structure, I'm sorry, I know it's a piece of art. I wish I could call it the right thing. I don't know what name to use to describe it. I'm just going to call it the shade structure. As I approached it the first time, there was trash strewn everywhere, like as if someone had taken a trash can and just dumped it all out. And I later realized it probably was a critter. It probably was like an animal, like getting into the trash and just demolishing it to see what edibles were left. So it's really not an issue of like vandals, it's an issue of like the city picking up the trash more regularly. In any case, I asked the ruffians, like, do you guys, is this your space? Do you want me to help clean up? And they're like, no, it was like this when we got here. I know, it looks awful. I said, well, if I had a glove, I'd pick it all up. And the other guy, who hadn't sort of talked to me yet, was like, I have a glove. I keep like, it's for his work, you know. He just always has gloves. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, data collected, neat. But I just arrived. I really wanted to get a photo with this beautiful art structure. So we walk down to sort of the landing, the big open landing, like past the shade structure, where you can see this beautiful panoramic view of downtown, and you can see into mid-Wilshire, and even, it's called Century City, but I call it mid-Century City. So we scouted out a place to take a picture, and within a few seconds, I guess, noticed that there was a family approaching, like from behind, like that. You know, we could see through the shade structure, through the art structure, to the public access, and these folks were about to walk through like this sort of cluster of ruffians, and I wanted to not only protect my new ruffian friends from having to be exposed, I guess, and I wanted to protect the family from sort of seeing what was really happening. And so I thought fast, and I approached the family sort of more quickly than I usually do with my éxodo, because we like to offer an invitation for people to come in, but never an imposition where we're pushing ourselves on others. But we did. We sort of walked up to the family and said, hey, excuse me, do you guys mind taking a quick picture of us? And they did. And they framed it perfectly. They asked me, like the dad, I assume the dad, sort of took over. I was like, oh, get over here a little. And like, I'm gonna, he was moving around. And if you've ever asked someone to take a picture for you, you know how many things can go wrong with framing. So I asked, please just make sure to get my feet and my head. I can do that. And the city. So he took these fabulous pictures. I'll post them. You can see them on my Instagram page, at Evie Wallace, EVY. WALLACE. If you want to, don't if you don't. So he took these fabulous pictures, and then we sort of parted ways. And I walked back through the shade structure and said goodbye to my ruffian friends. I had my picture, I had taken my minute in the sun. It's been gray here in in this little pocket of Southern California for many days in a row, and I used to think that Californians were super spoiled, and I think to an extent that's true. But being spoiled still doesn't diminish the truth that external environment affects internal environment. And when it's gray and the passing of the sun is, you're sort of unconnected to where the sun is in the sky, it just feels like the momentum of my days change. So the sun was finally out. It felt like this moment of beauty and connection. And we were starting to leave. We say goodbye to our ruffian friends, and I walk past the big pile of trash, and I think, wait a second, I'm telling myself, next time, if I have a glove, if I run into the exact same problem, I'll fix that problem. But what I realized is, why next time? Why not now? So I go back to my ruffian friends, say, I know I've tried to leave 4 times, but could I use that? You have gloves, you said? And the guy's like, oh yeah. So he starts digging in his bag, he pulls out one glove, he's like, I just have one. And I was like, that's okay with me, is it okay with you that you give me your last glove? Because it's okay with me to just have one. He's like, yeah, I'm just sorry. He said, yeah, that's fine with me. He goes, I really like the way you communicate. He said, it's very clear and precise. He said, I'm sorry that I only have just one. And I said, don't be sorry, I'm thankful that I have any gloves at all. So I go to start picking up this trash, protected and knowing to be safe and being careful for glass and needles or whatever. And I realized, Evie, think ahead, work time. You know you're gonna wish you had a before and after picture. So I set up my camera to take a before and after picture, and then I think, why not just take a time-lapse video? That's even more fun. That's before, during, and after. So I'm going to post that next, my friends, the time-lapse video of Evie Wallace cleaning up her village. Because what I realized is that village means we all take care of each other. And I love Los Angeles so hard. This city has caught me and taken care of me and nourished me so profoundly that being able to do this thing for her, to like clean up like this little area of shared space, feels like an energetic give that makes me happy. It makes me happy to be able to give back, because giving is getting, is giving, is getting. And as I'm cleaning up, like I'm at the very end, and like I'm starting to vibe real high because it's immediate effects. It probably took me 10 minutes, but on time lapse it's 27 seconds. It took me probably 10 minutes to just, of my life, to just bend down and move things back into the container. And the whole place just, it just transformed the whole space. Like it didn't look like a disregarded trash pile. It looked like a public space that was welcoming. And this group of like sort of bros comes up and they see my estero on the ground, because even though I usually don't like to put him on the ground, there wasn't anywhere else for him during this sort of trash cleanup. So these bros come up and they're like, "Is this your skull?" I say, "Yeah, I'm just like," I start preaching right away. I was like, "Yeah, that's my skull. Like, we're here to village, like Los Angeles village. We're gonna take care of this space. We take care of each other." It just sort of, it organically jumped into explaining this Los Angeles village. So these guys, these bros started like vibing high on like this energy, right, of just taking care of each other, taking care of space, like honor, knowing that we are all connected as one human village. So they like don't try to pick him up. They don't try to do anything. When I'm done cleaning up, they were like, I said, "Okay, if we take a picture?" It's like, "Yeah, it's totally fine." So I brought him back to the place where like the family before had showed me as the perfect frame or framing for that space. So we all take a picture with my estro and the bros, and then we go in peace, like village power, right? Taking care of each other, connecting human to human. And in the meantime, there's been like a few other visitors and guests just coming through. There was like an Asian family who had sort of quietly like worked through the area and taken pictures. And after I'd taken the picture with the bros, I went to leave again. And this Asian family had turned back around, like they had clearly been on their way out, and then they turned back around toward me with these keys in their hands. And they said, "Are these your keys? We found them on the path." I said, "No, they're not my keys, but I pretty much know everyone here." So I went back, I asked the bro, like I went to where the little pocket of bros were and was like, "Guys, these were on the trail, are these yours?" And they all checked their pockets. I said, "No." These other women had walked past, they had a dog off leash that came up and started barking at me when I was cleaning up trash, and I was like, bad manners. That's a bad-mannered dog. And bad-mannered people. Because as they sort of followed their dog, they're like, "Oh, sorry, he's sort of a pain," or like, "Oh, sorry, he's sort of uppity." Like, well, that's fine to have an uppity dog, but it's not fine to have an uppity dog off leash, where like it's not my job to say, "Oh, that's okay." Your dog was bad-mannered to me. I'm just being here in a public space. Like you need to leash your dog. But I didn't say that because dog owners, it's just not worth that fight. So those women were sort of part of the people who had come through, and I saw them coming back up the path that they had walked from, and asked if these were their keys, and they said no. And I thought, geez, what do I do? Do I take them home? Do I post it on Instagram that I have these found keys? Like, I don't want to just hang them up right in a tree. So I go back to like my ruffian friends who are still sort of camped out in the shade structure, was like, "Guys, I don't know what to do about this." And the first guy who would talk to me said, his eyes got wide, he said, "Oh my God, thank you so much." They were his keys. They were his keys. I said, do you know how these keys found their way to me? Like that family, that Asian family asked me asked if they were mine. I was like, do you guys realize that every part of the people who have come through this space in the last 20 minutes, like all villaged each other? Oh, and I also forgot to tell you that as I was picking up trash and as the ruffians were sort of in their own like world, but like I could overhear them. They were trying to help each other through hardship, and one of them was clearly a preacher. Like, I'm a preacher. Like, I could feel him tapped into truth and speaking truth, and I could feel the person he was talking to not hearing it. But so he was trying to get in, but not too forcefully. And that was back. Sorry, rewind back when I was cleaning up, because it was close enough to their little cluster. And as I was cleaning up, or as I was finishing up, this other preacher who was part of the ruffians, because preachers are everywhere, he looks up, he goes, "Oh my God." He's like, "That, it looks amazing." He goes, you are a hero without a cape." You're a hero without a cape. And I was vibing so high from being able to give this thing to a place that I love so much that I totally agreed. I was like, yeah, I am a hero without a cape. Yeah. So fast forward to bringing the keys back. The guys were super grateful. We recognized that all people, all separately storied humans, like all of us, all of our little pockets of humanity with all our separate stories, had found a way into one shared space, and we all villaged each other. It was glorious, and it reminded me that our job on earth is to continue to help people see and feel the magic of village power. That is just another word to wrap up that underlying sameness about us all. We're all beautiful, we're all different, we all have our special missions and journeys and personalities, and that's all great, but underneath all that, it's same. It's same, golden light, and village power is just a way to feel that same. Los Angeles Village. We are making this city a place where people come and want to help clean up, where people come and feel safe and welcomed, and they want to follow the rules of general manners and human engagement. And the people who don't aren't invited back to the village. Not that there's going to be laws, but energetic and spiritual sort of balances. It's all happening. It's all beautiful. Maestro, I told a friend last night about I told lots of friends last night about how hard we had villaged. And one friend said, Evie, that moment is that series of moments is particularly beautiful. He's like, because imagine what would have happened if you hadn't been there. He's like, I can pretty much guarantee that no one would be saying the word village. No one would have that trash pile would still be there. And I thought, well, that sort of toots my ego, toot toot, makes me feel good. But it's not just ego. It makes me feel like I'm doing the work I was born to do. Because all the people, it wasn't about all the people there recognizing me for my awesomeness. It was about all the people there vibing high together and feeling good in their own hearts. It wasn't about me, it's about us. So thanks for listening. You too can village hard wherever you are. It just takes a breath and a choice and a minute. And while we're at it, please join me for the minute challenge. Let me just make a quick plug. The minute challenge is where you sit and you look in someone's eyes and you hold hands if they have hands, just gently for 1 whole minute. You can guess how much a minute is. You can set a timer for a minute or maybe 2 minutes just to be safe. And please record it. Please record it and post it to YouTube or Instagram and hashtag 1 minute challenge. Because this is the human to human or human to art or human to self connection that still honors that underlying truth of village. And if you can accept the 1 minute challenge with a partner and ask that partner to then pass it on, to pay it forward, to continue that 1 minute challenge with one new person, then we can spread this thing like friendship bread. It's just 1 minute of your life, and I can all but guarantee you will have a profound experience, whatever that means to you. So thank you for joining me. Go in peace.